Hi, Todd VanDenburg here with VanDenburg Capital Management and another Uncommon Sense update. So this week, Fitch, a rating agency, downgraded the U.S. credit rating from AAA to AA plus, and as a result, the first couple of days of August, the markets reacted a little negatively to it. But in general, over the past few months, we've had a pretty decent run in the market, so I'm not overly concerned about a couple of days volatility from a rating agency that coincidentally during or just prior to the financial crisis had rated the CDOs and CMOs. Those were the collateralized mortgage obligations, basically bonds that were made up of home loans that were collateralized by real property, but they had rated those things as AAA. And as we all know, during the financial crisis, big chunks of those things were just worthless. So I'm not saying that Fitch doesn't know what they're doing at all, but I do take some of their actions with a grain of salt, especially when you look at the fact that really nothing in the last several weeks has changed. The last big event that would lead a rating agency to potentially do a downgrade was when the U.S. government, Congress, got together and said, okay, we're going to suspend the debt ceiling, basically allowing the federal government to borrow whatever it wants until after the presidential election. If Fitch had downgraded from AAA to AA plus, right after that happened, then maybe I could see that they were being proactive, but I don't know. This just feels like something to get their name in the news. I'm not saying that's why they did it, but in any case, when you look at what that rating actually means, it still means that there's next to no chance that they actually believe that the U.S. would ever default on its debt, or that there's the U.S. is in any sort of significant near-term financial crisis. So it's much ado about nothing, in my opinion. But it is something that we watch. The U.S. Debt is what, $32.7 trillion now. If the government doesn't start doing something in the next handful of years and interest rates remain where they are now, we could really be in a bad place as the cost of borrowing increases our annual interest rate payments to the point where it becomes difficult for the government to actually make those payments with revenues from taxes. But that's not what I wanted to talk about today. When things are going decent, like they have been in the last couple months with the markets, I start looking for other things that I might talk about. And one sort of popped into my head here the last couple days, and that is this concept of unclaimed property. So a lot of people don't know this, but almost every state in the United States has a department in it that if you happen to have owned something in that state and then you moved away, or you just didn't respond to a company that thought they owed you money, the people that think that they owed you something turn that property over to the state organization so that they can keep track of it and the company doesn't have to. So what I want everybody to do is go to your favorite browser and type in the search term unclaimed property, followed by the state that you've lived in, for the past 10 years, or most recently, or at any point in the past. So in my case, I might put in unclaimed property, California. And the first thing that pops up is this a link to a state of California website that lets you search based upon your name or the city that you might have lived in. Now, what I recommend people do, and again, you can do this, you can say unclaimed property Texas, unclaimed property Florida, unclaimed property Colorado, right? You can pick whatever state, and then just put in your name. And don't put in any other filter criteria. Even though you might know other things that you could put in, don't put anything else. and then click the search button. And in a lot of cases, what comes back are, at $10, $20, $200 that you may have left behind somewhere. Things like, I don't know, refunds from a PG&E bill, or if sometimes PayPal will kick things in there. If you happen to have been owed a refund from something, from a coupon, and they couldn't get in touch with you, they'll turn it over to the state. So for me personally, I do this fairly frequently, and a handful of them are like $1, $2 that are under my name. And so I don't bother going after them because it would take too long to, and like what postage now is over 60 cents. So am I really going to spend 60 cents to get a buck? I'd spend 60 cents to get $100 or $20, but $1.50, I don't think so. In any case, I digress. So unclaimed property and the state that you live in, or the state that you have lived in, and just see what's there. And the states are actually pretty good. They'll either let you call them, or they have a form that you can download so that you can actually claim that property. And then you might get yourself a few $100 that you can go spend to help improve the economy and cause the stock market to go up even more. So, don't be afraid to, don't put in too much search criteria, because if you do, if the person who owed you money didn't put in exactly what you put in, then it's not going to come up if you put in more search criteria. If you have a first name that can be like Steve or Steven, or well, I'll just stick with that one, Steve or Steven. Make sure to put in Steve and then search again for Steven. John, Jon, John, John, right? Be creative, even though it's not perfectly your name. Just think about ways in which a potential creditor might butcher your name, so that you can do a search, and then it'll come back and it'll give you a list, and who knows, maybe you'll find something. So as I started off this update, again, markets have been pretty good, so I've been pretty quiet. I typically do more updates when there's a lot of negativity in the news, and other than the upcoming presidential election, and all the negativity around that, and the Trump indictments, and the Hunter Biden laptop, and blah blah blah. None of that has anything to do with what I do for a living. So I tend to get quiet when things are going okay. But I wanted to provide you this update because the unclaimed property link is a real thing. You might get yourself some decent money out of it, and give it a shot, and let me know what kind of results you have. So if anybody has any questions about this or any other financial matter, I'm always available. Post an update, a comment to this video, send me an email, give me a call, send me a text. Doesn't matter. I reply, pretty quickly, no matter how people reach out to me. So that was your update. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give us a like, give us a share, and I'll be back again soon with another Uncommon Sense update. Thanks for watching.
If you'd like to be the first to hear of more Uncommon Sense updates like these, please click the subscribe button below. We'd really appreciate it. Thanks again.